Hey everyone, Pastor G here, and today I want to share a little devotional with you guys. It's from studentdevos.com. It's a devotional that I use for my teen group. It's perfect, it's short, sweet, to the point, and doesn't require a super long attention span, which is perfect for teens and most of the internet and pretty much me once in a while. So let's go ahead and get started. The title of this one is Jesus is Ready to Turn Your Situation Around. It's based off of Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. It says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." So in today's Bible verse, we see Joseph talking to his brothers, the very same brothers that had sold him into slavery. Let me stop right there and encourage you guys to actually go through and read the story of Joseph. It's found in Genesis chapter 37 through the end of Genesis and sets things up for Moses in Exodus. Going through the years, he had been misunderstood, mistreated at times, and even had lies told about him. Even through all of his bad experiences, Joseph put his trust in God. Joseph knew that God's character was good, so in the middle of all the hardships he had faced, Joseph knew that God was going to bring him through on top. So in today's verse, we see Joseph in a place of power. He had the power to have his brothers killed or thrown in prison. Most of us really wouldn't think any less of him for doing that. Trust me, if you read the story, you'll understand. Especially any of you guys that have had issues with your brothers and sisters. Trust me, it's a really awesome story. In fact, Joseph, in the story, those of you guys that are familiar with the story of Joseph, he actually messes with his brothers a little bit. He doesn't have them thrown in jail, he doesn't harm them, but he does screw with their heads a little bit before he finally reveals himself and makes reconciliation. Anyway, also, a little bit of background. Joseph is the 11th son of Israel, also known as Jacob, which Joseph and his brothers later become the 12 tribes of Israel, the foundation of the nation of Israel. But the issue is that in the beginning, his dad treated him with favoritism over the other brothers, and the other brothers got jealous, and rightfully so. Now, does it mean that the brothers should conspire to kill him or to send him into exile like they did? No. But it gives you a good lesson in parenting as well, that you shouldn't show favoritism to your children. You shouldn't show favoritism to one child over another. I've got 3 children of my own. I get that. I have a different relationship with all 3. It's not favoritism. There's certain things I have with my oldest daughter that I don't have with my son, but things that I have with my son that I don't have with my oldest daughter, and then, I have a different relationship with my youngest daughter at this point in time. So if Israel were to actually treat his sons more equally than he did, this probably wouldn't have happened. But then again, God was able to use this situation for good, as we're going to go ahead and talk about further. Joseph realizes that all he went through brought him to this place, and now he has the ability to save his family. What an amazing store of God's provision and love for his people. God knew ahead of time and set up someone to save his people. Like I said, I definitely encourage you guys to read the story of Joseph. It'll give you a lot more background on this. So today's truth is, Jesus is ready to turn your situation around. If we're applying this to our lives today, we might think that the past year has been really tough. It definitely has been for many people, myself included. Many haven't been in school in person for a long time now. And I know from what I've been seeing, this has really been taking a toll on a lot of students. And, I've seen it in my own children, and they actually have been in class for when they shut down, they were out of school for the longest time. But when they finally brought the kids back in, it started out very slowly, and I can tell it was taking a toll on my children and many other children that go to those schools. And it's tough. It's made this year really tough. Some are discouraged, upset, and feeling like there is no hope. However, in Jesus, there is always hope. Jesus is always loving you, ready to turn your situation around. So today, trust in him, put faith in his character and his goodness. Know that he is working in your life. Keep your faith and focus on him, and like Joseph, you'll see God's provision in your life. I'm going to tell you guys this. God is working in the background. I know that when I say this, some of you guys that may be watching this be like, you have no clue what I'm going through right now. I have no idea where my next meal is going to come from. I have no idea how I'm going to be able to teach my kid that is home from school. I have so many different things going on. I need a job. I need all these different things. Everybody's got a different situation. Everybody's got different frustrations that is going on in their life. And they feel like that God has abandoned you guys. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, God has never left you. God does love you. And you know what? In this world, you will have trouble. But take heart, God has overcome the world. Jesus said that in John 16:33. So here's the thing. No matter what, we're going to have issues. We are going to have troubles. And I'm not downplaying anybody's troubles. I go through troubles myself. There's a lot of things that I don't tell anybody here on the internet. But yeah, I've got my own struggles. I've got my own things that I'm dealing with. But here's the thing. God has always pulled through. He has blessed me in ways that I can never possibly imagine. But here's the thing. I have to put my trust in Him. I can't put my trust in myself. I can't put my trust in my wife or my children or my pastor or any of those people. I have to put my trust in God above all things and trust that He is going to bring me through it. And not only that, but whatever bad situations you're going through, He is going to work it out for the good. Let me show you another scripture real quick. It's in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, and that is, if I can get to it here, we know that all things work together for good for those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. Now, I want you to focus in on what it says. We know that all things work together for good for those who love God. There's people that have twisted the scripture around and would say that all things work together for good, and then they would leave out for those who love God. That's the key point right there. For those who love God. And to those who are called according to His purpose. So basically what I'm saying here is that we know all things work together for good. The scripture says that God has a plan. No matter what happens in your life, He can take that situation, if you trust Him, and work it out for the good. That's the amazing part of God. That's the amazing part that He has for us. He'll take care of us. He will take care of your situation if you trust Him. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to deal with the things that we're dealing with in our situation. And we're wondering. And, we all come to a point where we question God. It's like, God, what is going on? What did I do to deserve this? And I don't know what's going on. There could be things that you have done, that have caused that situation to occur. It could be some natural disaster. It could be an economic collapse. Whatever the case may be. It could be the pandemic that's, basically ripping people's lives apart. Whatever the case may be, God can take the situation and He can turn it for good for those that love Him, for those that trust in Him. So I encourage you guys today, put your trust in God. Don't put your trust in your finances. Don't put your trust in your own skill. Don't put your trust in people. Put your trust in God, and He will deliver. He will show up for you in ways you couldn't possibly imagine. So if you have a question or a concern, feel free to leave a comment below. Send me a DM on one of the social media platforms that's listed in my description. I'd love to hear from you. If you ever want prayer, you want somebody to talk to, feel free to talk to me. That's what I'm here for. I'm Pastor G, and I'm definitely glad that you guys took the time to hang out and check this video out. Be sure to check out the links in my description of various different channels to check out. And till next time, you guys all take care, and God bless.